Hibber here. So, I don't know if you actually managed to start your Colbert Bureau project, but I hope you did. As I'm sure you're all aware, the ship costs 3,000 steel to actually buy your right to even research it, and yeah, I hope you did. Anyway, first up, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Now, to be absolutely fair here, Colbert is one of the most entertaining ships you can play in the game because it's super fast. I'm going 44 knots here, and the turning radius is exceedingly small. It's like almost destroyer size, and the rudder is probably around 2 seconds. I think it's actually 1.9. So it means that you can get into positions before anybody else. And then, of course, the only thing you're going to run into is probably a destroyer, and a destroyer is just a quick, slap with the tail in this ship here, and it's gone. And you can see what I'm doing here, getting to the cap well ahead of everybody else. And then I'm going to cap, obviously. And then I'm going to kite away and just start burning battleships while I'm doing that. And really, that's about it. That's all you do in Colbert, really. Because you don't have a radar, you don't have torpedoes, you cannot set up any elaborate traps. Because if I was in Minotaur, for example, right here, I would stay in the cap and I would wait for battleships or destroyers or cruisers or whatever, to push me. And then I would torp them, or the destroyers I would just remove with the amazing AP. In Colbert, if you stick around here and someone pushes you, you'll survive for a little bit, but without torpedoes, it's not going to last very long. And it does have 32mm armor, yes, but look at the size of that superstructure there. And it's theoretical. I keep saying this, and I don't know if people just haven't played the ship, or they're just blinded by the theoretical fact that it has 32mm armor. I mean, this ship is not very tanky. It just isn't. And also look at the hit points there. You have 36,000. That's very, very little for a legendary cruiser. It's pretty much only 2/3 of what all the other cruisers get. And at the same time, you really don't have a lot of tools at your disposal. You have your sonar and your speed boost and, the respective heals, and that's about it. So I see here, we have run into no less than 4 ships over on this flank here. But it's not really a problem because, no ship kites like this ship here. So it doesn't really matter how many battleships you are facing. You'll be able to outplay them all, except when they hit you like that. I mean, there was a Yamato there, and that's why I mean that, yes, you have 32mm armor, but in, real life, it's not going to save you. So what I'm doing here is just, making myself an inviting target so the battleships shoot at me. And then you see all my battleships, they're just sitting there. No one's really shooting at them, so they have plenty of opportunity to hit whatever broadside is presented to them. And, well, that's pretty much your job in Colbert. And, well, no other ship really does this job any better. I mean, it's a really annoying ship to be up against. And over here you can see there's 3 battleships. Each one of these battleships here can one-shot me if I'm not careful. But as it is, I mean, you can just wiggle and, predict the salvos, and you're going to be absolutely fine in this ship here. So as a battleship player, I'm sure this ship here must be really, really annoying to play against. And I think an agile build is the way to go. There are other people who go into range and HE and all that stuff, and sure, you can do that too. I just think that this being such a fun ship, why not get all the fun out of it that you can, and at the same time be a real pain to everybody else on the red team. So yeah, very satisfying ship to play. And if you didn't get to actually buy the Bureau, this update here, I wouldn't kick myself over it, because as good as the ship is, the Minotaur is pretty much the same thing. It's almost as squishy really as Minotaur, despite having 32mm armor, and I said the much vaulted 32mm armor that does pretty much nothing for you really. So this battle here is a prime example of agile cruiser play, where you go in, you get the cap right off the bat, and then you force the red team to have to push in, and really, nobody wants to push in to a Colbert that has like half the map available for kiting. I mean, that's just, yeah, it's a losing battle, really. And it doesn't really matter how many battleships there were. You saw here there was 3, and none of them could really hit me. So when they are out of range, that just means that, okay, well, we'll turn around and then we'll do the whole thing over again. So it's actually quite an atypical game, this one here, because you can see we are more than 5 minutes into the game, almost 6 minutes, and we only lost 1 red ship. So everybody's playing very conservatively, pretty much except me. I'm sitting out here on the flank setting things on fire, and it's unusual in the game, but I kind of like it when it happens. I mean, at Legendary tier, most of the times, let's be honest here, when you're 6 minutes into the game, like half of one of the teams have already been eliminated, and sometimes more than that, and sometimes it's already finished by now. But this battle here is actually quite interesting. Getting into the 7th minute now with only 1 red ship down, so this can go either way, and I mean, that's what makes it interesting, and I wish there was a lot more battles like this. But what you usually see is just battleships, you know, going broadside on the flank and then getting eradicated from the game immediately, leaving that flank to be overrun, and thereby crossfiring the rest of the team, and that's pretty much a win. And the only time that doesn't happen is when the blue team is just as useless as the red team, really. But so I prefer this kind of battle here, obviously. So I'm just going to sit out here on the flank, set as many fires as I possibly can, and then every time the battleships shoot at me, they just waste a salvo, really, that they really should be using on the battleships that are backing me up, because as you can see on the map, I have very powerful backup. We have no less than 3 battleships and another cruiser backing me up, and they're really the ones removing the ships. I'm just setting fires and being annoying and, you know, tanking by evading incoming shells, and works out really well. I mean, if you have a team who knows how to play to the strength of an agile cruiser, if you can pull stuff off like this, then well, it's a very satisfying play. Now, if I must say, my team is a little bit timid, and you'll see later that there's pretty much only the Yamato on my team is actually taking like an active role in the battle. And I feel sorry for this main here. I mean, he's trying to escape, but he is well within my range, and there is no escape. And I have plenty of battleship backup, so obviously he cannot turn broadside. He's going to get annihilated then, and he's just going to have to accept getting burnt to a crisp here. And I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, this ship must be really annoying to play against. So right now I'm starting to think, okay, we're doing really well on this flank here because I have so much backup over here. But the A flank is actually not looking too well. There's only 1 defending blue ship over there, and as you can see, the Yamato, that's why I'm saying this guy here, he knows what he's doing. He's pointing that out to the team, and I was just about to do that, and he did that before me. So well done. If you are watching this video, Yamato player, well done. So that also means that, okay, we just have to remove this Baltimore. We cannot leave him alive because he will just retake the C cap. So we need to get him out of the game as quickly as possible and then move in to start defending B. And as you can see, the team is actually doing pretty well, which is also unusual. It's a very unusual battle, this one here, and I wish there was plenty more of this. Now, one of the things I prefer about the Minotaur is the more powerful AP shells. I mean, you can shoot AP with Colbert, and yeah, it does work, but it works nowhere near as well as Minotaur, which is understandable because Minotaur has very different AP and only AP shells at that. So it takes a while to remove cruisers unless they are like flat broadside, and also if they're at more than 10 kilometers, it's pretty much impossible to get citadels with this tiny shells on the ship here. I think there's 127 millimeters, so it's really destroyer guns. But anyway, everything is removed over here now, so we're going to head in towards the B cap to make sure that isn't captured. Because I mean, we can live with not having the A cap, that's fine. We are ahead by 200 points, but I don't want to lose the B cap because that means the red team could actually go ahead and win this battle here if they're lucky. So will Colbert be available in the future? I'm guessing it will. I don't know when. I don't know at what point. Perhaps at Christmas would be my guess, but don't hold me to that. It's just me guessing here. And then the next question is, if Colbert is available again, will it be in the same format as the Colbert I have here, or will it be like another incident of changing a ship and then renaming the original CE, just like with Wichita in the current update? I think that's what's going to happen. Now, in my opinion, Colbert isn't overpowered actually at all. I think Des Moines is much more powerful than Colbert, and my stats tell me the same thing. And also Minotaur, I think, is much more powerful than Colbert, and it all comes down to the radar, really. Had this ship had a radar, it would be fantastic. And if it had torpedoes as well, it would just be absolutely out of this world. So obviously that's why it doesn't have any of those things. But again, on the other hand, I think a legendary cruiser without a radar is a severe disadvantage for your team. So as much as I like Colbert, I just think that, especially if you play solo, I think Minotaur or Des Moines, they're just a better pick if you are actually going for winning. If you're just going for damage farming, yeah, sure, Colbert is probably a very nice pick. But without the radar, like, if you end up facing 1 or 2 destroyers in the end, they can just run around corners with you, and it can get very frustrating, especially at legendary tier, where cruisers are expected to do their role and dispose of destroyers, and when you can't do that because you don't have a radar, it just sometimes it can get a little bit annoying. But again, from a fun perspective, this ship here is probably the most fun you can have in this game here. If you like, fast, agile play where you're just farming ships and really not really doing anything else. Look at this poor Baltimore here. I don't know why he's heading into the middle of the map by himself, but yeah, it's gonna be a quick death. So, and also I have this famous Yamato player here right to my left, and that's why I'm going to, protect him, because I know that Kagero was coming in. I saw him change his route earlier on, and of course that means that I don't want him to torp my good Yamato friend here, so out of the world with him, and it gives me a Confederate as well. So that was Colbert for you guys, and if you didn't buy the project, I don't know when you'll get the opportunity again, but hopefully soon. So I hope you enjoyed it, and see you out there.